Now, the game is on. It's Democrats' civil war. Spiritual advisor and best-selling self-help author Marianne Williamson is making a second straight run for the White House and taking aim at President Biden. Williamson, who called for reparations and a Department of Peace as part of her long-shot campaign for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, declared she plans to launch her candidacy for president in 2024 in an exclusive interview with Medill News Service on Thursday. "I wouldn't be running for president if I didn't believe I could contribute to harnessing the collective sensibility that I feel is our greatest hope at this time," Williamson said. She traveled to New Hampshire a week ago, ahead of her 2024 announcement, and it's likely she'll spend plenty of her time campaigning there going forward. That comes as no surprise, as political strategists have said that if there's going to be a primary challenge against Biden, New Hampshire appears to be the state where the action will take place. 6 more countries sided with Russia during a United Nations General Assembly resolution on Thursday, in which 141 countries voted to end hostilities in Ukraine, and for Russia to withdraw its forces. Belarus, North Korea, Syria, Eritrea, Mali and Nicaragua all joined Russia in opposing the declaration. While the resolution does not force Russia into leaving Ukraine, it signifies an international censure against Moscow's aggression. The vote marks a slight increase from the 4 countries who voted against an October resolution denouncing Russia's annexation of Ukrainian territories. Mali and Eritrea abstained from the vote during that time. The 6 countries opposing the resolution have developed close military ties with Russia. Amendments proposed by Belarus would have stripped much of the resolution's language but were resoundingly defeated. Today will mark 1 year since Russian military forces invaded Ukraine. The war has killed tens of thousands on both sides, demolishing entire Ukrainian cities and causing higher food and fuel costs prices worldwide. A death row inmate in Florida used his final words to criticize Governor Ron DeSantis, claiming the Republican leader has done a lot worse than him. Just minutes before Donald Dilbeck, at 59 years old, was executed in the Florida State Prison death chamber Thursday night, he admitted to hurting people when he was young but saved his final comment to call out DeSantis. Dilbeck was convicted of killing 2 people and was sentenced to death 32 years ago following the 1990 fatal stabbing of Faye Lamban, whose family members were sitting in the witness gallery. "I know I hurt people when I was young. I really messed up. But I know Ron DeSantis has done a lot worse. He's taken a lot from a lot of people. I speak for all men, women and children. He's put his foot on our necks," Dilbeck said, according to the Tallahassee Democrat. After the comment, officials at the Florida Department of Corrections began the process of administering 3 drugs that sedated him, paralyzed him. The Arkansas-based environmental consulting firm lost their executives in a plane crash shortly after takeoff from Little Rock on Wednesday, turned to social media on Thursday to identify the victims. "It is with a heavy heart that we acknowledge the passing of our colleagues, Gunter Beatty, Kyle Bennett, Micah Kendrick, Sean Sweeney and Glenn Marcus Walker," a post on Twitter from CTEH read. "They were valuable members of our team and CTEH family. All 5 men were on a twin-engine Beech B-20 that was heading to Columbus, Ohio on Wednesday when it crashed a few miles south of the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport," authorities said. The crash occurred as a line of thunderstorms that the National Weather Service said included wind gusts of 40 miles per hour moved through the Little Rock area, according to the Associated Press. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating about report that nearby residents said they saw an intense fire from the crash. 7 people were shot, 6 of them children, in a shooting that took place at a schoolyard in Philadelphia Thursday evening, according to the Philadelphia Police Department. Police found multiple shooting victims at a schoolyard of the James G. Blaine School, located in Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion section, at about 5:52 p.m. Thursday. Authorities then transported 6 people to area hospitals, 5 of them children, and one being a 31-year-old woman who was shot twice and is in stable condition. A 2-year-old girl, 13-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, and 2 16-year-old boys were shot at the schoolyard. All are in stable condition and are seeking treatment at area hospitals, police said. A 17-year-old boy was also grazed by a bullet and was transported by Uber to a local hospital. He is listed in stable condition, according to police. Police do not have a suspect in custody at this time. The investigation is currently ongoing. Selena Gomez is taking a break from social media, she said Thursday, after a no doubt challenging week. The only murders in the building actor's decision came after a bit of TikTok drama involving Hailey Bieber and the Beliebers, Taylor Swift, and Kylie Jenner. It all started with a lip-sync TikTok, according to Vulture, in which Hailey Bieber says, "I'm not saying she deserves it, but God's timing is always right." Fans thought maybe she'd been referring to Gomez, who recently battled online trolls, having to explain her weight gain due to her lupus medication. Elsewhere, a TikTok emerged of Bieber seemingly gagging at the sound of Taylor Swift's name, to which Gomez responded in the comments section, "So sorry, my best friend is and continues to be one of the best in the game." Of course, Gomez used to date Justin Bieber, and Beliebers and Selenators have been at each other ever since Hailey and Justin started dating, despite the ladies squashing rumors of any beef between them time and time again. Louis Capaldi is not letting his struggle with Tourette's syndrome deter him from performing and releasing good music. Since revealing his diagnosis last September, the Before You Go singer has remained candid with his fans about his struggle with tics and how it affects his body. In late February, during a performance in Frankfurt, Germany, the musician had a flare-up of his condition as he performed his closing song, "Someone You Loved." As he attempted to push through the bridge and the final chorus, his fans helped him sing the last chorus of the song. Back in September, the Scottish songwriter opened up about his diagnosis with the nervous system disorder that causes repetitive movements, sounds, or tics that cannot be easily controlled. More than 200,000 people, including singer Billie Eilish, report having the chronic condition each year in the US, according to the Mayo Clinic. Capaldi originally opened up about his Tourette's syndrome last fall on Instagram Live, telling his fans, "The worst thing about it is when I'm excited, I get it. When I'm stressed, I get it. When I'm happy, I get it. It happens all the time. Some days it's more painful than others and some days it's less painful. It looks a lot worse than it is. Sometimes it's quite uncomfortable, but it comes and goes." USC quarterback Caleb Williams already knows where he wants to play professionally. The defending Heisman Trophy winner still has another year of college ball before he heads to the NFL, but he's likely to be the number 1 pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. He's sure hoping a particular squad has that selection, the Miami Dolphins. "I like to be around younger coaches," Williams told People. "I'd probably go to the Dolphins. I also would be able to play with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. The defense isn't bad. That's probably my number 1 spot." Williams may need a reality check, though. The Dolphins just made the playoffs, so it'd be very hard to see them fall to the worst record in the league with the hopes of acquiring his talents. Of course, Miami could trade up in the 2024 draft, assuming Williams declares and his stock remains sky high, but again, considering the likelihood that they'll be a playoff team, their picks wouldn't exactly move the needle. There also is another issue. Miami already has a young, promising quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. The soon-to-be 25-year-old suffered 2 concussions during the regular season, one of which was the subject of much controversy, so who knows what his future may hold, both short and long-term. Right now Sons of the Forest is the 3rd most played game on Steam with 265,000 concurrent players. That's not bad for a game that came out a little over 3 hours ago. It's so popular in fact, it might have crashed Steam. Sons of the Forest was due to launch this evening at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, but it ended up going a little later than that. Its launch instead coincided with a rare period of Steam downtime. You can see the spike of reported outages at Down Detector. 265,000 people trying to simultaneously download and start playing a new game might have been enough to see even Valve's servers fall down. Sons of the Forest is a first-person survival game and a sequel to The Forest. Like its predecessor, it's about surviving in a jungle environment, optionally with the aid of pals, while semi-naked cannibals do their best to disrupt your progress. Sons of the Forest had also initially intended to launch this year as a complete game, but instead has followed in its predecessor's footsteps as an early access release. While the third season of Outer Banks seems to take viewers to various locations, including the islands of Guadeloupe, Basse-Terre and St. Kitts, and Venezuela, it was filmed in Barbados and Charleston, South Carolina. Barbados provides a backdrop for everything, from the supposed deserted island dubbed Pogolandia, to street scenes throughout the port city, and island country's capital of Bridgetown. While not officially confirmed, it looks the church that plays a key role in the events that unfold on the island is portrayed by St. John Parish Church. The romantic, Gothic-inspired structure was first erected in 1645. It has been destroyed by a hurricane, and rebuilt more than once since its inception, according to Visit Barbados. The existing building has stood since 1836. In South Carolina, we see many returning Charleston locations from previous seasons, including the Cameron's Tanning Hill estate that's captured at the historic Lowndes Grove. This season's storyline also takes some of our favorite characters from the fictional version of the Outer Banks to Charleston, specifically the Charleston Museum. The real exterior of the Charleston Museum looks quite similar to the one that's featured in the show.